Hi guys, and welcome back. We are on video 3 from chapter 6, and we're going to be discussing the law of diminishing marginal utility as explained in a classical way by Böhm-Bawerk. So he was an economist, he was an Austrian economist, and he was trying to explain to us why marginal utility diminishes by giving us this example about corn. So I assigned it some utils in order to kind of make sense out of it, just to kind of help us. So he's talking about a guy who has 5 bags of corn, and the purposes of those corn. Aren't these beautiful? These gems. When corn is like that. So the first bag, what's it for? The first bag of corn that he has in during the winter is to survive. If all he does is eat one bag of corn, he will survive the winter. He might lose a tooth or two, but he will survive it. It's not very nutritious, it's not enough, but hey. So the first bag has 100 utils. It has the most value of all the bags. The second bag is to receive nourishment. The idea is if he can eat more corn, then his body can be in better shape. Maybe he won't lose a tooth or two, right? So there is still a lot of value to the second bag. It comes in at 80 utils. It's not as valuable as the first bag because here we're surviving. Here we're doing a little bit better than surviving. But clearly it is still less valuable than the first one. The third bag is meant to feed his livestock, and he mentions chickens. Of course, if you have chickens, you have eggs, you have meat, maybe you can expand it to a goat, and now you have also milk and cheese. So it's 50 utils. The third bag is very valuable, but not as valuable as the first 2 bags because it's not about survival now, it's about receiving more nutrition and being more comfortable in winter. And the fourth bag is to turn the corn into bourbon. Well, come on now, that's really important, isn't it? How do you stay warm in the winter without liquor? So the fourth bag is relevant, but not as relevant as the eggs and meat, not as relevant as the nutrition in the first place and shelf-stable food that survives the winter. So we're going to give it 20 utils. And the last bag is to feed his parrot. Well, we love the pets. They're wonderful, but 7 utils because taking care of the parrot isn't as important as maybe eating eggs or eating corn or obviously getting through the winter a little bit drunk. So that's our theory explained about how the law of diminishing marginal utility is definitely a descending curve for marginal utility, showing you each additional bag has less and less value. And you can really apply this to more things, right? So I'm going to give you another example. How can all the you-can-eat buffets survive? How can they make money and profit? Do you ever wonder about that? Well, what they're counting on is that there is only so much we can eat. And, you know, people also, when they go to a buffet or a buffet or what they want, they kind of starve themselves. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go eat so much later, so I'm not gonna eat all day. Well, actually, that shrinks your stomach, and now you can eat even less. So the idea is this. They know that this utility will get you to stop eating and therefore remain profitable. So like this. The first plate might be worth 20 utils to you. You're hungry, you're eating a selection of foods, it's good food, it's 20 utils. The second plate is only 7 utils, marginal utils, because, you know, you're nowhere as hungry. You probably don't have to eat the second plate, but the reason you do is because you can. And then the third plate is really so much. It is so much that it sets in this utility. And when you now have a -3 for utility and it's now a this utility, then your total drops from 27 to 24, right? You go from the first and second plate giving you a total of 27 to adding one more plate and notching down 3 points from 27 to 24 in total utility because you really shouldn't have eaten that plate, which is why many people eat dessert first. They're like, I want to eat dessert my first plate and fill up on dessert, no nutrition, but hey, I will enjoy it best. And then I will eat one plate of food towards the end, maybe save one bite. This is what my kid does, right? She'll start with dessert, she'll save a bite, and then she'll eat something savory, and then she'll save one last bite of sweet till the end in order not to completely go crazy. Now, why are some firms putting our personal information? We don't really go to buffets. This is when she was very little. Why are some firms putting our personal information at risk? Okay, this is a very, very good question. How come our personal information is not safeguarded? We are in September of 2022, And right now the news is full of the whistleblower who's telling us that Twitter doesn't spend anywhere near the amount of money to safeguard our information. Twitter is not alone. Facebook does the same thing. There are many other companies. Why? Because there's too much information. Too much of something lowers its value. This is just a fact in life. So if you want people to value you more, first, you deliver something of value. Second, maybe you limit it a little bit so it's more appreciated. Too much information out there, they don't seem to find that they don't understand the value of that information anymore. And this is the law of diminishing marginal utility in practice. Now, what's interpersonal utility comparison theory? Interpersonal utility comparison theory is basically telling us, don't assume that just because you like something and just because something has high level of satisfaction for you, that it has it for everybody else. So we're looking at this lovely young lady and she's washing her face with a lovely product, and she's, the expression on her face is that this is heavenly. It might not be. To somebody else, it might be irritating. Right? They use it and it actually aggravates their skin and it sets them back, and they really don't appreciate that at all. So we can't assume that what satisfies us satisfies someone else. Caution, the utility obtained by one person cannot be scientifically or objectively compared with the utility obtained from the same thing by another person, because utility is subjective. Remember, we can go to the same play and not come out loving it in the same way. We can meet the same person. One of us will think this person is great. The other person will think they're arrogant. One person will think they're funny. The other person will think they're annoying. How you perceive the world is very subjective, and how you judge it is based on that. Should I gift you, look at this question right here. Should I gift you the items I like? Wouldn't you then know how much I like you? No. This is why we have mass customization. What we like may not appeal to the other person. So for instance, you might be somebody who likes glossy, glitzy, big things, and you give somebody a gift like a pair of earrings that are big and showy, and that's because you think they're awesome and beautiful, but that person is a subdued person who will never wear them. They like things that are plain and boring, where to you that's not even a good gift. But actually, if you really want to give them the right gift, it should be what you consider subdued and boring, because to them it is not. To them it fits their personality. Maybe they have small features and they only like small things. Who knows? It's their preference. So how do you give somebody a great gift? It's based on what they like, not what you like. How do you create a wonderful date? Not based on your interests, right? So you might be a hiker and the other person barely puts on a pair of sneakers on their first date. You take them out on a hike. Not going to go down very well. So we need to understand that about other people. So when companies are mass customizing, they don't want to decide for us. Take your phone. You get your phone, but you can choose your lock screen, your home screen, the apps you load on it, the ringtones, the colors. You see what they've done is they've said, we don't want to decide for all of you what you should use and how to stylize and what to download on your phone. So we're going to give you the phone, but you're going to decide for you. But millions of people are still going to be able to buy phones. So mass customization is producing on a mass scale, but allowing each product to be customized and tailored based on the individual tastes and preferences. So companies that mass customize are in much better shape than companies that do not, because they are able to be more successful. They're not doing a cookie cutter for everybody. They're allowing you to switch some things around and experience that individuality. And that is because of interpersonal utility comparisons. We don't know what you're going to like just because we like it. Okay, I'm going to see you in video 4. I'll see you in a bit.